it's my first time in Graz. I didn't expect anything before coming here. Just a few people told me that it's a super beautiful city. At first, didn't have a chance to go to the old town and stayed in Eggenberg. And I find it quite interesting, actually, not starting to experience the city not from the city center, from the suburbs, and then coming closer and closer and closer to the city center. And I find it very contrast, this old architecture and this strong river and this mountain overlooking everything, and new buildings, new architecture, which is quite futuristic. And this contrast is mind-blowing. It works really strong in a way. It brings you a very interesting sense, having this old combined with future and combined with very, very strong nature.
You are changing your life like in 180 degrees and all the contrast.
Yeah, we had this a bit yesterday.
Here, of course, all the system works, but somehow all the vibe, it's much more relaxed, maybe in a way. Maybe people are closer to nature here, because at least in Graz, you cannot close your eyes. You see the nature everywhere, and also gardening in between natural, untouched, and between urban human activity. In between there's gardening, and I'm amazed what beautiful gardens almost in every house in Eggenberg. City center gardening is also, wow, mind-blowing for me, and looks quite sustainable. They're using using perennial plants, which is really conscious when you talk about wildlife and pollinators such as bees and butterflies. For them, perennial plants can become a home. So that's what I really appreciate here.
first walk here was really like a journey, but I found it very intimate in a way. The task that we cannot take any devices with ourselves was really nice. I didn't have even a clock to check what time is it if I'm not late already. So I was hearing the church bells all the time, and I had to figure it out how they are working. And this approach of listening at some point was like, I cannot really express it in words, I guess, but it was kind of privilege that I'm invited into listening of the city. And it was it touched me very much on the first day, especially because usually you have, as you said, this visual approach of going somewhere, see something, and when you are changing yourself into listening, then it's becoming completely other landscape.
You have it to take as your goal to handle with this limitation. It's one of the important things. I think it's very important to work with art in every part of art. So in everything, it's every time you have limitations, yes, and it makes you crazy. If you think, oh God, then I have this problem, then I have the other problem, then I have this problem, okay, then you won't start. So you have to take it as a positive thing, and so I think, okay, we will find a possibility to try to get the nature, however, I don't know yet.
I came, and the first thing that was important to get to know to the artists that are attending, what is their approach in art, in life. Some people are led by their brain, some people are more guided by their intuition, some people are guided by visual or sound. This was the most important to find out. And we did some practice that all the attendees and participants of the workshops would get into a more intimate level, because when you come to the workshop, you present your country, you present the organization that you're representing, for example, and it gives you some kind of a mask, how you present yourself in other language. And I wanted to remove this. The first task was to remove this and to get to intimate level, to make everything to the zero. You know, when you take a clay, at first you must cut a piece of the clay, then make it warm, to make it in a ball shape, then you can create a vase or a ball out of it. Of course, we're talking about outside things, we're talking about community, we're talking about district, we're talking about objects, but the artist is interpreting it, and it's the same concept from philosopher Aldous Huxley that it's the doors of perception, and the perceiver can perceive the same thing in 100 different ways. Every perceiver can see an apple, for the same apple can become anything, because all the participants are like also tourists in a way here. They're like full of outside things that affects them, and it's then you can not be at the moment because you're thinking, what will I do next, where will I go next, what's my final destination in the workshop. So this becoming the zero just makes you fully present.
Wir hassen der Markt wirklich. Hochbauerplatz, genau, ja. Weil den Markt nutze ich wirklich zum Einkaufen für Lebensmittel. Und da gibt es ja einmal im Monat dieses Flohmarkt. Finde ich auch super. Und eigentlich finde ich das so viel mehr Liste.
Bitte? Ja. Das ist nur um 21 Uhr diese Performance. Und dann wird es nachher sofort klar. Sie gehört zu wem?
Keine Ahnung. Jedenfalls wird fast und gleich.
Ja, die hat mich irgendwie saniert.
Ja, das ist da.
It's better one.
Eggenberg.
Oh, is it here?
Was denn?
Marktplatz.
Oh! Who take it? Oh, nobody. Oh, we have the lace. You cut it out. Ah, but look, that piece of lace, of wine. Ah, we
I would like to ask you for a last round. On the way to utopia, you have to make a step into real life. So what's your way to utopia as the next real steps as we leave now this ground of Eggenberg and you are getting involved now in next projects or ideas? What do you take from here with you?
I take a lot of sharing, which I find very important. It's not so much talked about people like you or us in this week on the high-level politics, and I would really wish there is more spaces for sharing, and I call people like you or me or us like the moles who come from below and grab themselves up and do a lot and do a lot of networking, and I will take extremely a lot of ideas. Each of you brought worlds and opened worlds.
Thank you, Birte. Alexandra?
I will take a sensitivity, I guess, and the acceptance for making mistakes. And I will also take the word zupa, which means zup in Polish, which I really like.